Ever heard the saying, "Don't set yourself on fire to keep someone else warm"? This powerful metaphor, rooted in ancient wisdom, highlights a critical yet often overlooked truth about kindness. In today's world, the rush to be seen as good, to always be the giver, to twist the noble act of kindness into a self-destructive habit. While the intent to help is virtuous, the consequences of excessive generosity can lead to personal ruin. The truth is, too much kindness, when it drains your own resources, energy, and well-being, is not a virtue, but a path to self-destruct. Our journey through the perils of excessive kindness begins with an exploration of its impact on self-care. Often by putting others first, one might neglect their own basic needs, from physical health to mental well-being. This neglect not only diminishes personal health, but also opens the door to further vulnerabilities. As self-neglect becomes habitual, it can inadvertently signal to others that one's boundaries are flexible and open to transgression. This perceived vulnerability can then make one a primed target for exploitation. As we delve deeper, we see that these unreciprocated acts of generosity can start to breed resentment, particularly when efforts to help are not returned in kind. This lack of reciprocity can be emotionally draining, further exacerbating the sense of isolation from balanced and reciprocal relationships. This cycle often leads to financial strain as one continues to give without safeguarding their own economic interests. Furthermore, the social ramifications of being overly generous can manifest distinctly. Those who consistently place others' needs before their own may find themselves isolated from meaningful connections, as their relationships can become one-sided. This isolation can contribute to burnout, a state of emotional, physical, and mental exhaustion caused by prolonged and excessive stress. Moreover, excessive kindness can inadvertently stifle the growth and independence of those it aims to help, creating a dependency that undermines their ability to stand on their own. This effect highlights a critical aspect of kindness. It must empower, not inhibit. Finally, we will consider how a continual display of self-sacrifice might lead others to perceive one as fragile or overly dependent on the role of caretaker. This perception can severely limit personal growth and opportunities, diminishing one's presence in various spheres of life. Through the wisdom of Stoicism and modern psychological insights, we will navigate the fine line between generous kindness and destructive self-sacrifice. Our goal is to discover how to give without losing ourselves, to love without hurting, and to support others without forsaking our own well-being. By understanding and addressing these potential pitfalls, we can transform kindness from a source of personal depletion to one of strength and fulfillment. Number 1. Diminished self-care. The ancient wisdom "charity begins at home" resonates deeply when considering the pitfalls of excessive kindness, especially when it comes to self-care. This saying, far from advocating selfishness, emphasizes the foundational necessity of tending to oneself before extending help to others. By prioritizing others' needs relentlessly and unconditionally, we often sideline our own physical and mental health needs, leading to a detrimental neglect of our well-being. Reflecting on historical teachings, particularly those from Stoic philosophy, we find that self-care was not merely suggested but regarded as essential. Marcus Aurelius, a Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher, profoundly noted, "Very little is needed to make a happy life. It is all within yourself, in your way of thinking." This emphasizes the importance of internal balance and health, which are easily compromised if we constantly prioritize others over ourselves. The implications of this imbalance are profound. When we consistently neglect our own health and needs, the initial outcomes might not be immediately evident. However, over time, this neglect can lead to chronic stress, physical illness, and mental health struggles. The stress of continual self-sacrifice can exhaust our emotional reservoirs, making us less effective as caregivers and supporters, ironically, the very role we strive to fulfill. Moreover, historical figures and philosophers underscore the need for moderation in all aspects of life, including kindness. Buddha taught the middle way, a path of moderation away from the extremes of self-indulgence and self-mortification. Applying this to kindness, it becomes clear that excessive self-sacrifice is as unbalanced as extreme selfishness. Both extremes prevent us from achieving a truly fulfilling, unbalanced life. Transitioning into the practical implications of these teachings, it is essential to recognize the signs of self-neglect. Symptoms such as persistent tiredness, irritability, and withdrawal are clear indicators that our well-being is compromised. Recognizing these signs early on can help us take corrective action, potentially steering us back towards a more balanced lifestyle. Taking steps towards self-care doesn't require grand gestures. It often starts with small, daily actions. Setting boundaries is a crucial first step. It involves knowing when to say no and understanding that this denial can be an act of kindness towards oneself. Regularly engaging in activities that replenish your mental and physical health like meditation, reading, or physical exercise can also play a significant role in maintaining personal well-being. In conclusion, while the desire to help others is undoubtedly noble, we must remember the sage advice from various philosophical traditions that counsel us to first take care of ourselves. By ensuring our own cup is full, we become better equipped to genuinely and sustainably help others. Thus, as we navigate our desire to be kind, we must also heed the ancient wisdom that teaches us the art of balance, generosity, where self-care forms the basis of our capacity to care for others. Number 2. Exploitation by others. Kindness, a virtue celebrated across cultures, can sometimes be misinterpreted as a weakness, making individuals vulnerable to exploitation. This misunderstanding can lead people to take advantage of the generous, perceiving their altruism not as strength, but as an opportunity for manipulation. The Stoics, ancient philosophers renowned for their practical wisdom, cautioned against such vulnerabilities and emphasized the importance of setting boundaries to preserve one's virtue and well-being. Seneca, a Stoic philosopher, famously said, "No man was ever wise by chance." This suggests that wisdom, including the wisdom to be kind without being exploited, requires deliberate effort and foresight. In our everyday interactions, when kindness is mistaken for a weakness, it can lead to situations where our good intentions are used against us. For instance, in the workplace, a kind-hearted employee might find themselves burdened with an unfair share of work because their colleagues know they are unlikely to refuse. Similarly, in personal relationships, a consistently generous individual might be repeatedly approached for favors or financial help with the expectation that they will not decline. To combat this, Stoic advice on setting boundaries is invaluable. Marcus Aurelius advised, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Applying this, setting boundaries does not mean becoming unkind, but rather protecting one's mental space and resources to continue doing good sustainably. Boundaries help define how much help is reasonable and when it might start to harm one's own well-being. In practical terms, setting boundaries can be as simple as saying no when requests conflict with one's values or current capabilities. This could mean declining to take on additional tasks at work when your plate is already full, or choosing not to lend money if it might jeopardize your financial stability. These actions, while seemingly small, reinforce personal limits and prevent exploitation. Moreover, recent studies in Stoic psychology highlight the benefits of reflective practices such as journaling to maintain clarity about one's limits and strengths. Writing down instances where you felt taken advantage of can help identify patterns and prepare you to set clearer boundaries in the future. Additionally, engaging in mindfulness meditation can enhance one's awareness of their emotional state, making it easier to recognize when generosity is turning into self-sacrifice. To reinforce the implementation of these strategies, consider adopting the practice of daily reflection. At the end of each day, take a moment to reflect on interactions that involved helping others. Ask yourself, did this act of kindness come from a place of strength or obligation? Did it leave me feeling depleted or enriched? This exercise, grounded in Stoic thought, not only fosters a habit of self-awareness but also builds resilience against potential exploitation. As we continue to explore the complexities of kindness, it's crucial to remember that protecting oneself does not negate the virtue of generosity. Instead, it ensures that our kindness is both sustainable and impactful, allowing us to help others without losing ourselves. This balance, as the Stoics taught, is not just beneficial but essential for a life of virtue and fulfillment. Number 3. Unreciprocated efforts. While kindness is a cornerstone of ethical behavior and interpersonal relationships, it can sometimes lead to heartache when the effort isn't reciprocated. This mismatch between giving and receiving can erode our emotional well-being, fostering feelings of resentment and disappointment. Philosophical and psychological perspectives offer profound insights into how we can manage these feelings and we calibrate our expectations to guard against the emotional toll of unreciprocated kindness. Aristotle once remarked that to give away money is an easy matter and in any man's power. But to decide to whom to give it and how large and when, and for what purpose and how, is neither in every man's power nor an easy matter. His words highlight the necessity of discernment in acts of kindness, an approach that can mitigate feelings of disappointment when generosity is not returned. The emotional pain of unreciprocated efforts often stems from an expectation that others will mirror our own actions and intentions. However, when these expectations are not met, the resultant imbalance can be profoundly disheartening. Psychologically, the disappointment linked to unreciprocated kindness has been shown to activate the same neural pathways as physical pain, suggesting a deep-rooted biological response to emotional rejection. This understanding can help us recognize why these experiences are so impactful and can spur us to develop strategies for managing our expectations more effectively. Stoic philosophy, with its focus on the things within our control, provides a valuable framework here. Epictetus, a Stoic philosopher, taught that it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. Applying this to kindness, if we adjust our expectations from the outset, acknowledging that the outcome of our actions is out of our control, we can protect ourselves from the sting of disappointment. To implement this philosophical insight in everyday life, one practical exercise is to consciously practice kindness where acts of generosity are performed without any expectation of reciprocation. This approach does not diminish the value of the kind act, rather, it reinforces the intrinsic reward of kindness itself. Each time you decide to help someone, mentally affirm that your action is complete in itself, regardless of the outcome. This mental affirmation can be strengthened through regular mindfulness practice, which cultivates a state of presence and acceptance, reducing the emotional weight of expectations. Furthermore, keeping a gratitude journal can shift focus from what we have not received to what we have successfully given and received in the past. This practice can significantly improve mental health, as numerous studies have shown how gratitude enhances emotional resilience and satisfaction with life. By integrating these strategies, managing expectations, practicing detached kindness, and focusing on gratitude, we can safeguard our emotional health and continue to offer kindness without suffering the negative consequences of unreciprocated efforts. As we progress through understanding the complex dynamics of kindness, it becomes clear that protecting our emotional well-being is not just a reactive measure, but a proactive strategy that enhances our capacity for sustained generosity. This balanced approach ensures that our acts of kindness are sources of joy rather than sources of pain, aligning with the Stoic ideal of living a harmonious and fulfilled life. Number 4. Loss of personal identity. Continual self-sacrifice in the service of others can lead to an unintended consequence, the overshadowing of one's personal identity and desires. When we constantly act with altruism, there's a risk that our true selves might become blurred, as the lines between what we do for others and what we want for ourselves grow faint. This loss of personal identity not only detracts from our individuality but also compromises our integrity, creating an imbalance that can be detrimental to our overall well-being. Socrates famously declared, "To find yourself, think for yourself." This profound statement underscores the importance of maintaining a sense of self amidst our efforts to help others. When our actions are constantly aligned with the needs of others, our own desires and aspirations might get lost in the shuffle. This can lead to a life that feels not fully our own, lived more in service to expectations than to our personal values and dreams. The importance of maintaining a balance between giving to others and upholding our personal integrity cannot be overstressed. Stoic philosophy, which advocates for personal virtue and wisdom, provides valuable insights here. Seneca, a Stoic philosopher, argued that while it is noble to contribute to the welfare of others, one should not do so at the expense of one's own moral and rational self-sufficiency. He believed that true generosity does not lead to self-neglect but rather springs from a well-considered life. To incorporate these philosophical teachings into everyday life, one might start by setting aside time to reflect on personal goals and values. This could involve writing down what is truly important to oneself, beyond the act of giving, and reviewing this regularly to ensure that one's actions are aligned with these values. Additionally, engaging in activities that reflect personal interests and passions can help maintain a strong sense of self while also providing the satisfaction of personal fulfillment. Another practical approach is to practice assertive communication, which involves expressing your own needs and desires in a clear and respectful manner. This can help ensure that your acts of kindness are not depleting your own resources or overshadowing your personal goals. Assertiveness training, which can be facilitated by professionals or through self-help resources, helps individuals learn how to set healthy boundaries, an essential skill for balancing generosity with personal integrity. Moreover, modern psycho research supports the idea that maintaining a distinct personal identity is crucial for mental health. Studies have shown that individuals with a strong sense of self are less likely to experience anxiety and depression and are better able to handle stress. This highlights the necessity of keeping our individuality intact even as we engage in altruistic behaviors. In summary, while the desire to help others is undoubtedly commendable, it is vital to ensure that this does not come at the cost of losing our own identity and desires. By integrating Stoic wisdom and modern psychological practices into our lives, we can strike a balance that allows us to be generous without compromising our personal integrity. This not only enhances our ability to help others effectively, but also ensures that our lives remain richly our own, filled with personal achievements and fulfillment. Number 5. Financial strain. Generosity is a revered virtue that can enrich the lives of both the giver and the recipient. However, when not balanced with financial prudence, excessive giving can lead to financial instability, undermining the very foundation from which one wishes to help. Understanding and managing the balance between financial generosity and economic health is crucial, lest kindness become a source of financial ruin. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus advised, "Wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants." This wisdom is particularly pertinent when considering financial generosity. Giving beyond one's means, driven by the desire to help or be seen as generous, can quickly deplete one's financial resources. This type of giving often leads not only to personal financial stress, but can also strain relationships if financial commitments to family or self are not met. The emotional gratification of helping others can sometimes cloud our judgment, leading to decisions that strain our finances. For example, donating a large sum to a charity in a moment of compassion without considering one's budget, or continuously picking up the tab at group events out of a sense of obligation. These actions, while generous, may not be sustainable and can lead to significant financial difficulties, including debt and the inability to meet personal financial obligations. To maintain a healthy balance between generosity and financial stability, consider implementing a budget specifically for charitable giving. This approach involves setting aside a fixed percentage of your income for donations and gifts. This budgeting technique ensures that your generosity does not compromise your financial well-being or your ability to save and invest for your future. Additionally, it is wise to be informed about the tax implications of your generosity. In many jurisdictions, charitable donations are tax-deductible, which can offset some of the financial burdens of giving. Ensuring you are knowledgeable about and making use of such benefits can help mitigate the financial impact of your generosity. Another practical step is to engage in financial education. Understanding basic financial principles such as budgeting, saving, and investing can provide the knowledge needed to make informed decisions about how much you can afford to give without harming your financial health. Many community centers, banks, and online platforms offer courses on financial literacy, which can be invaluable in managing personal finances effectively. Moreover, incorporating Stoic practices, such as reflection and meditation, can help align your financial actions with your values. Reflecting on your motivations for giving and the potential impacts of your generosity on your financial health can lead to more balanced decisions. This Stoic habit of introspection ensures that your acts of kindness are both meaningful and manageable. In sum, while the impulse to give is commendable, it is vital to ensure that this generosity does not lead to financial ruin. by adopting structured budgeting practices, educating oneself about personal finance, and utilizing Stoic wisdom to guide financial decisions, one can be generous without jeopardizing economic health. These strategies allow for a sustainable practice of kindness, one that supports others without undermining oneself. Number 6. Social isolation. In the intricate dance of social interactions, generosity is often a valued step, creating harmony and fostering goodwill. However, when generosity becomes a solo performance, with one party constantly giving and the other always receiving, it can lead to social isolation. This imbalance can turn potentially reciprocal relationships into one-sided affairs where the giver feels increasingly isolated and undervalued. Social psychology suggests that balanced exchanges promote healthy relationships. When this balance is disrupted, it can lead to a decrease in relationship satisfaction. According to the equity theory of relationships, individuals are happiest in relationships where the perceived rewards and costs are balanced. Overgiving can skew this balance, leading the giver to feel unappreciated and the receiver to feel uncomfortably entitled or overly entitled. Stoic philosophy, with its emphasis on virtue and self-sufficiency, offers a relevant perspective on maintaining healthy social interactions. Marcus Aurelius, a proponent of Stoicism, once said, "People exist for one another. You can instruct or endure them." This highlights the Stoic belief in mutual support, suggesting that while it is important to help others, one should not do so to the detriment of one's own social needs or well-being. Excessive generosity, then, can be seen not as a virtue in Stoicism, but as a potential neglect of one's own social and emotional needs. To counteract the social isolation that may arise from being overly generous, it is important to cultivate a more balanced approach to giving. One practical exercise is to regularly assess the reciprocity in your relationships. Reflect on whether your acts of kindness are being exchanged with similar gestures of appreciation or support. If not, consider having open conversations with your friends or family about your feelings. This not only promotes healthier and more balanced relationships, but also aligns with the Stoic practice of straightforward and honest communication. Additionally, diversifying your social investments can help mitigate the risks of isolation. Engage in various groups and activities where giving and receiving are more likely to be balanced. Volunteering, for example, in environments where others are also giving, can provide a sense of community and shared purpose, which are protective against feelings of isolation. Moreover, Stoic exercises such as daily reflection on the intentions, outcomes of your interactions can help maintain a healthy perspective. Reflecting on why you give and what you realistically expect in return can recalibrate your approach to interactions, ensuring they are more fulfilling and less draining. Research in social psychology also supports the implementation of these strategies. Studies have shown that individuals who maintain balanced relationships tend to experience higher levels of social satisfaction and less stress. These findings underline the importance of healthy social exchanges, not only for personal happiness, but also for the longevity and quality of relationships. In summary, while generosity is a laudable trait, its excesses can lead to social isolation if not managed carefully. By employing strategies from Stoic philosophy and social psychology, one can enjoy the benefits of giving while protecting oneself from its potential pitfalls. This balanced approach ensures that generosity remains a shared joy rather than a solitary burden. Number 7. Burnout. Burnout is a state of emotional, physical, and mental exhaustion caused by excessive and prolonged stress. It occurs when you feel overwhelmed, emotionally drained, and unable to meet constant demands. As the stress continues, you begin to lose the interest and motivation that led you to take on a certain role in the first place. In the context of generosity, burnout can often result from the continuous act of giving without time for self-recovery, leading to a depletion of one's emotional and physical reserves. The Stoics, with their focus on moderation and self-care, provide a philosophical framework for understanding and preventing burnout. Seneca's words, "It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more, that is poor," resonate particularly in the context of burnout. This craving can be in the form of needing constant approval or feeling like you are never doing enough for others, both of which can drive you to give relentlessly at the expense of your own health. Recognizing the early signs of burnout is crucial for prevention. These signs may include chronic fatigue, insomnia, forgetfulness, increased illness, loss of appetite, anxiety, and increased irritability. Recognizing these signs not only in oneself, but also in colleagues and loved ones can help mitigate the effects before they become severe. To prevent burnout, it is essential to set boundaries. This means learning to say no or negotiating what you are willing to do for others. Stoicism teaches the importance of understanding what is within our control and what is not. Applying this teaching, one should focus on their capacity and rights to set limits on their generosity. Establishing clear boundaries helps maintain physical and mental health and ensures that efforts to help others are sustainable. Another strategy is to cultivate a practice of regular self-reflection and mindfulness, which can provide insights into your motivations and stress levels. Mindfulness techniques can reduce symptoms of stress and anxiety and improve your overall emotional resilience. For instance, daily practices such as journaling, meditative breathing, or walking in nature can help maintain balance and prevent the loss of oneself in the service of others. Incorporating regular rest and recovery periods into your schedule is also vital. Just as athletes must rest between workouts to rebuild strength, those who give of themselves need time to recover from their emotional exertions. This could be as simple as having a quiet hour each day without interruptions, a weekly day off, or scheduled vacations. Engaging in activities that replenish rather than deplete your energy is another preventive measure. This involves identifying activities that you find restorative, such as hobbies, spending time with loved ones, or physical activity, and making time for these regularly. Research supports these strategies, showing that individuals who maintain a good balance between giving and self-care have lower levels of stress and higher job satisfaction and productivity. Studies in Stoic psychology emphasize the value of self-awareness and internal control in managing one's life and responsibilities effectively. In conclusion, while the desire to give is admirable, maintaining a balance is crucial to prevent burnout. By employing Stoic principles and modern psychological practices, one can continue to help others effectively without sacrificing their well-being. This balanced approach not only prevents burnout, but also enriches your capacity to give sustainably. Number 8. Enabling dependency. While kindness is a foundational element of societal cohesion and personal relationships, when extended without limits, it can inadvertently foster dependency, curtailing the personal growth of others. This form of excessive kindness can be thought of not as support but as an enabler of reliance, which can ultimately inhibit the development of resilience and self-sufficiency in individuals. Drawing on both case studies and the philosophical insights of Stoicism, it becomes evident that there is profound value in empowering others to help themselves rather than enabling their dependency. A poignant example can be seen in the case study of a community outreach program aimed at assisting unemployed individuals. Initially, the program provided extensive support, including financial aid, without requiring recipients to engage in job training or education. Over time, it became apparent that while immediate needs were being met, participants became reliant on the aid, with little motivation to seek employment or improve their skills. When the program was restructured to include mandatory skill-building workshops and job search assistance along with reduced financial aid, participants' engagement in their personal development increased and employment rates improved significantly. This shift from enabling to empowering led to sustainable self-sufficiency, showcasing the detrimental effects of dependency engendered by well-intentioned but misguided generosity. Stoic philosophy, with its emphasis on personal virtue and independence, also provides valuable lessons on this issue. Epictetus, a Stoic philosopher, taught that all the good are friends of one another. However, he clarified that true support among friends and in communities involves helping others to become good themselves, not merely doing good things for them. This distinction highlights the importance of encouraging self-reliance and resilience, rather than creating a dynamic of dependency. According to Stoicism, the role of a benefactor should be to equip others with the tools to face their own challenges rather than shielding them from every hardship. To navigate the fine line between kindness and enabling, several practical steps can be taken. First, it is crucial to set boundaries that encourage others to take initiative. This might involve defining clear limits to the support offered, encouraging individuals to set and pursue their own goals. Secondly, offering assistance in the form of guidance, education, or resources that promote self-efficiency can be more beneficial than simply fulfilling immediate needs. For example, instead of repeatedly lending money to a friend in financial difficulty, one could help them devise a budget or plan for financial stability. Additionally, fostering an environment where constructive feedback is shared can help individuals recognize and take responsibility for their own growth. This approach aligns with Stoic practices of self-examination and personal accountability, which are essential for developing resilience and independence. The balance of empirical evidence from social psychology supports these strategies, indicating that people thrive in environments that challenge them to grow rather than those that reinforce their current state. By applying these insights, one can kindness that truly benefits others, encouraging their development into self-reliant and resilient individuals. In conclusion, while the impulse to give unconditionally comes from a place of compassion, it is crucial to consider the long-term impact of such actions. By embracing a Stoic approach to kindness, one that empowers rather than enables, we can support the holistic development of individuals and foster a society where independence and personal growth are paramount. This thoughtful approach to helping ensures that our acts of kindness lead to positive, enduring outcomes. Throughout this exploration of the ways kindness can inadvertently lead to self-destructs, we've uncovered the profound need for balance in our altruistic endeavors. From the emotional and physical burnout associated with unreciprocated giving to the financial instability that can arise from excessive generosity, the message is clear: unchecked kindness can have unintended consequences. The case studies and philosophical teachings we've discussed illustrate that while giving is a virtue, it must be practiced wisely to prevent it from becoming a vice that drains our personal resources and inhibits the growth of others. We have seen how fostering dependency rather than empowerment can stifle others' ability to develop resilience and self-sufficiency. Similarly, our discussions on social isolation and personal identity also have highlighted the importance of maintaining a sense of self while helping others. As we move forward, let this knowledge inspire you to cultivate a practice of balanced kindness in your own life. Set healthy boundaries and respect your own limits. Remember, true generosity benefits both the giver and the receiver without leading to depletion or resentment. Let us embrace the wisdom of the Stoics and the insights from modern psychology to guide our actions, ensuring that our kindness is both thoughtful and sustainable. Take actionable steps towards this balanced approach. Start by assessing your current giving habits and consider whether they might be crossing into the realms of enabling or self-neglect. Encourage those around you to develop their capabilities and offer support that empowers rather than fosters reliance. In doing so, you will not only enhance your own well-being, but also contribute to a healthier, more resilient community. In conclusion, let us strive to make our kindness a source of strength and empowerment. By setting boundaries and practicing moderation, we can prevent the pitfalls of excess and cultivate a life filled with meaningful, supportive relationships. Let this journey towards balanced generosity refresh your spirit and inspire those around you to do the same. Together, we can ensure that our acts of kindness are truly beneficial and sustainable, enriching the lives of others while enriching our own.